Yeah, my name's Alex. I turned 30 years old this week, so it's a mile marker for me. And I've been married for about 6 years, and I have a 6-month-old daughter. Yeah, and I'm a pastor of a church and a teacher in a school, and that really, if I could be really frank with you, really wasn't the trajectory that I was set on when I was 15, to say the least. Much less wearing a necktie. I mean, I seriously just learned how to tie one. Yeah, I was born and raised in Woodstock, Georgia at First Baptist Church Woodstock. It was a church of about 100 people, and then it just took off and grew, and the church grew to several thousand. About 12,000 people go there today. So I grew up in a growing megachurch. My parents were very much so Christians. My grandparents were Christians. My great-grandparents were Christians. We have pastors in our family and so on. So I grew up in a Christian home, and there was one particular sermon I heard when I was about 7 years old, and it was a sermon on hell, and I got unbelievably scared, and I didn't really care too much about going to heaven or anything, but I did care about not going to hell. So that was what I heard and had to do something about quick. So went down the aisle, I prayed a prayer, I got baptized, and that was really it. And I don't really have much biblical justification for what happened, but you know, the parable of the soils with Jesus, I think the seed just kind of landed on my heart, and it just kind of lay dormant for a long time, if that makes sense. My Christian faith really didn't shape or change or take off or anything like that at all. I just kind of went through some motions, and then grew up playing soccer and this and that, and started to get into trouble in middle school, to say the least. Diagnosed ADHD and manic depressive, bipolar, and so if you're born in 1980, that means what we did for my generation is you drug your kids with Ritalin and antidepressants and everything else. That was the world I was in. So very depressed, very frustrated, and I was getting thrown out of school. Lots of fighting. I really wasn't an angry kid. I just found myself getting into fights, drug abuse and violence and things like that. That was very much so me. And I thought that was cool. And so that was where I was at. I started going to church pretty regularly to see my girlfriend. Because she went to church, so whatever. I went to church to see my girlfriend. And as I was there, I started listening to the gospel really being preached. And God started working on my heart and started to show me, Alex, what you've got is not authentic Christianity.